Welcome to my podcast, Live from the Heart. I am Anne-Claire Meret. I inspire you to live and contribute from the heart a little bit more every single day. Today, I welcome you to a solo episode where I want to talk about a life update. I usually do one every trimester or so, although I think the last one was probably October or something. It feels like it's been a long time. So I probably have a lot to share about. Where do I start? Last time I did an episode, probably I had just moved in Cemagi, which is close to Canggu in Bali. It's in a brand new house, and it's been an adjustment for me because I absolutely loved living in Ubud, and I cried a lot when I arrived here in Cemagi because I felt I was very far away from everything. Also, I had just started dating someone in Ubud, so it felt that I might not be able to meet him so much, but actually everything turned out really well, and I could just enjoy having a peaceful life. What I really love about living here is that I can indeed do at least 10,000 steps at the beach every day, which is super interesting for me to do because otherwise I don't really like to do sports, and I just enjoy being outdoor a little bit every day, and I don't necessarily do it when I live in the city. We're building a home. So currently we're living in a rental, and we're building a home which is like here. I can see it from my window, which is pretty cool. And it's the first time that we buy a house with Christian ever, him and me, and together. So this is our first time home owners, and that's pretty cool. It felt a little bit intimidating at the beginning, but because the house comes furnished, we don't have that many decisions to make, just the right amount of decisions so that it's fun, and I'm enjoying it. I also want to celebrate that this is my first home. I'm 40 years old and I could pay it cash, and it feels great. This is awesome. Plus, we still had money, so we decided to do some more investments. So last year we invested in a company to recycle plastics, and now we're investing in something in the US, um, which has to do with data mining and things like that. Plus, we have crypto. So this is a great abundance era for me, and it keeps going. It only gets better, up and up and up. Um, I've decided for the new house sometimes to make bold choices, which is exactly attuned to who I want to be this year and what's going to happen for me this year. So, for example, in my office, I chose to have a pink bathroom, which means pink tiles everywhere. And it's an interesting choice because this house we want to sell probably in a few years, and all the other bathrooms are going to be white. But I'm like, no, there's going to be a pink bathroom in this home. Plus, we're looking for non-toxic paint and non-toxic mattresses, and creating a bold terrace on a rooftop where we want to have a sauna and a cold plunge for a Christian, and yeah, beautiful style and something which is absolutely not neutral. And we're excited about it. This is super fun. It's going to be a healthy house. I don't know how many years we're going to live here. I want to live here until it's not quiet anymore because I think it's going to develop a lot. Already there are more restaurants than when we moved in, and also we might at some point want to live in a place which would be a little bit more remote. So we had a project a few months ago, last year when we moved to Bali. We had a project in Balian. It's just about like 2 hours from here. And we visited a few lands with friends, and we chose a land that we wanted to buy all together. We had three couples, and we actually chose the land and we were ready to proceed. And then we had a problem with the land and with the real estate agent. And then it just didn't happen. And it was kind of a disappointment because we both said, okay, that's the right one. And then we had to let it go. And then my friend got pregnant, and then my other friend said, okay, I want to live in the US again for a little bit. So they left. One couple is in Sweden, one couple is in the US. And it's interesting because I was wondering, how would it happen if I put all of my money in the love sanctuary and it takes years to develop it and I cannot do anything else? And I'm going to be far away because I'm going to be in nature and everything. And then I'm going to miss out on other things that I really want to do. And turns out life had other plans because now I'm buying this home. I'm doing other investments that are going to kind of root myself into personal wealth before sharing more for shared projects, which is smart. I like it. It's happening in the right way anyway, so everything is okay. Um, Something interesting happened to me also a few weeks ago because I had expressed the fact that I was tired to go to Ubud and meet my boyfriend, always in Airbnbs. I don't go to his place because he lives with a friend, and I prefer to have intimacy with him without anybody else. And and I thought to myself, wouldn't it be nice to have a house? And I just spoke it out loud. And a friend told me, oh, I have a friend. He's living in his house and he's willing to rent for at least a year, maybe two, maybe more. Do you want to see it? So I went to see it, and it was, yeah, it was a yes at first sight. I got a little bit stressed at the beginning. Oh my God, so many houses. What am I going to do? And it also needs a bit of renovation, which happening right now, painting, carpentry, um, electricity, and decoration, obviously. It's going to take a few weeks, and then it's going to be ready in March. But I'm already going there on the weekend to spend the weekend there, although not everything is done, but it's fine. I'm happy about it. It's a great place for me. And also, when I visited it, there is this beautiful place. So it's in central Ubud, but in the rice field and quiet and very peaceful. It has a great energy. I had a shaman come at home and do a clearing, and he said, "Oh my God, this place is awesome." So we just did extra cleansing, and it was just amazing. And when I saw the shared space, like there is a space which is super nice for sharing with a group, a group of friends or a retreat. I had the idea. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to do a retreat here, and it's going to happen in a few months. So I've decided it's going to be from in May. I forgot the dates. Sorry. Please reach out to me if you want to know about the dates. I have not communicated why. Widely because I've only told my students and my clients, um, a handful of people, to tell them, okay, I'm ready to welcome you. There is an application process. So I'm starting with the people I know, and then I will extend to everybody online. So in a few days, I should be ready to communicate about that retreat. It's only for 7 people. It's non without accommodation, but we're gonna send you a list of tips so that you can find your accommodation. Ideally, walking distance so that you don't have to think about taking a taxi to come. It's very easy. Ubud is so easy, and I'm very excited to welcome you in my space and to help you connect with your unlimited abundance, just like I did the past few years. And today it's very interesting because I realized that my abundance is not tied up to what I choose to do. And I used to think it was because I was always taking actions, and I was obviously, I still love taking actions and I recommend to take action to create abundance. But it's not tied up to a specific form of action. And I used to think that there was a wrong action and a right action, and that it was about making the right ones to achieve success and have money. But actually, it's about who you are when you choose the right or the wrong path. Um, yeah, I would say better the right or the left path because all of them are okay. It really depends on who you are. So we're going to really work about how you're being when you're creating your prosperity and removing the blockages. And it's going to be different from what I've done in Make Money from the Heart, my online program, and different from my book, Millionaire from the Heart, because I know a lot of you have read them and did the program and all the things. So it's going to be, yeah, exclusive and very connected and beautiful. I can't wait to hug you. Um, as you noticed, this episode is in English, although all the life updates episodes have probably been in French so far. I've decided beginning of this year to kind of create a disruption and start working more in English, showing up more in English also on social media. And I like it and I'm happy about it. I want to launch more online products and more books in English and possibly trainings. So let's see what I have time to do this year and what excites me, because I really want to do things which are light-hearted, which I'm passionate about, and not just bring something into the English market that I've already done in French because it was successful. I really don't want to do something that's aligned for me. So let's see what's showing up. Um, Okay, what else? And after that, I'll answer a few random questions that my team has collected. I've done a lot of stories on Instagram, and we've categorized them in different categories. But the random ones I'll answer here in the life update episode. Recently, I've decided something because I was talking about living here in Cemagi, and I live by the beach, and it's really beautiful, and it's also very polluted. And I was walking every day, and I thought, oh my god, this is terrible. There is not only the plastic, but there is also a lot of metal and nails and scissors and knives. Oh my god, every day I just feel a bag. I mean, I could fill 3, 5, 10 bags, and it's just an endless process, and it's so dangerous. And then I thought, but I always give donations. Like, I give donations all the time for nature, for projects against child trafficking, for animals, for so many things. And then I thought, I could give money to the beach and just, yeah, make things happen. So I asked someone I know, who asked someone he knows, and he found someone which is passionate about cleaning and recycling and everything. And this person is going to find 2 cleaners who are going to come every single day for 3 months, and we're going to see how it works and how the community here reacts. But I really want to create a momentum and then ask the people around us to participate and make it keep going. And then I see, I have a vision where I can see everybody wanting to participate, and then it's going to spread, and then the other beaches are going to want to do it, and it's just going to be awesome. This is a real problem here in Bali, the pollution. And I believe it starts with the decision and not waiting for others to make decisions instead of us. So it starts with us. Christian and I, we made the decision this week. It's pretty exciting. Um, Talking about Christian, we have a beautiful program that we've launched together. It's a funny thing. I had yesterday morning big meeting with Geneviève, which is my right hand. Actually, Geneviève is moving here next week. Yes, my master plan is working. It's like the people who work in my team live from the heart. They all want to visit Bali or eventually stay here for a while, and there are more and more people here or visiting, and it's super exciting to get to meet everyone. And Geneviève, she's actually moving here for a few months, and she's going to do house sitting while we're going on a vacation with Christian. We're going to Koh Phangan, Thailand, where we used to stay for a little bit together. I actually had a house in Koh Phangan. I created a company in Koh Phangan. I might actually close it or keep it frozen. Let's see, because it still exists. It's called Hazeya. I did one retreat, and then I couldn't because COVID. That's what happened. So what I wanted to say is that I was having this meeting yesterday morning with Geneviève, and I said, oh la la, there are so many things I want to do. I want to do new programs about love, and I've been talking about it for a while. I know I want to do other books, and so many things I want to do, and I don't find the time. And she looked at me and she said, Anne Claire, it's been not even 2 months. You've launched Refocus Your Life with Christian. You've done a new program with Nathalie. Nathalie is a dear friend of mine, and we did a program in French called Inspiré, which means inspired. And we had so many women joining this program. It was a 6 weeks program, and now we're selling it evergreen. Yesterday we had a webinar to present it. We're actually considering putting subtitles in English, but it would take a bit of efforts for English-speaking people to follow it. But that's an option. I'm exploring options, and also I'm also interested in eventually having my voice kind of dubbed so that I don't have to refilm all the videos that I have. We're exploring possibilities with AI and everything. So, and then she said, look, you're also ready to launch your retreats. You've already done so much in 2 months, and your book in French is almost ready. And I think sometimes I forget how much I achieve and how much I just, yeah, I'm a doer. And meanwhile, I still have my life at home, and now we have a dog and 2 cats and beautiful relationship with Christian. And I have also the relationship with my boyfriend, which is not going so well these days, but let's see how things are unfolding in the future. no pressure, and I'm already grateful for this beautiful relationship that we've had for 8 to 9 months. Um, I'm realizing we have maybe conflicting values, and at this point where things are really deepening and that the attachment is really being created and the bonding, I see that some things that I was taking lightly at the beginning were actually more important to me than I thought. And yeah, it's an experience, and maybe I'll talk about it when I have it digested. So we'll see in the future. So a lot has been done already, and I'm getting ready to launch my book in French, Millionaire from the Heart, which will have the same title, also the same book cover. We'll just have a bit of a stamp to say, okay, this is a French version, and that's actually really much the vibe that I want for my work, which is like I want to work in English, and sometimes it's going to be in French. It's going to be a stamp. Yeah. So this is what I want to create. I haven't been dancing so much since the beginning of the year, not much. But I'm going to a dance festival in Koh Phangan, Thailand, and then when I will come back in Bali, I have already registered for two dance short retreats, workshops for a few days, two of them in April. So I'm really excited about it. So that's about the life update, which is quite a lot already. It's been a lot of things that I had to share. Um, I'm sharing all of that because I know that you've seen me grow, you've seen me change, you've seen me having multiple shifts, identity shifts, and daring greatly to create the life that I have right now. And I want you to understand what's happening inside of me when things are changing and when I'm daring greater, because I know that you also feel inspired to take different kind of actions. And the more I authorize myself to live my best life, I know the more you do it too. So I feel that this is very much of a win-win situation. Um, I read a great book in January called 10x is easier than 2x, and I really loved it. And it talked to me deeply because we tend to get attached to what we've created in the past. Let's say you've created a business, whether it's successful or not so successful, but you're attached to a way of doing the things that you've been doing and attached to your office, and you just want to keep doing and replicate so that you have a success which is at least twice as good as what you've created so far. But you have so much more inside of you. You have so much more gifts, and there are so many facets of you which you haven't explored yet. And probably your greatest success will come from something that you have never been doing yet, or not that way. And in order to be able to discover that, you need to make space. So that's also something that I've decided to do this year, is to make space and not so much promote my former programs, and really put my energy and my attention, my focus into other things that I want to grow, because I have so much that I want to offer. And if I'm always on the ongoing work uh, related to everything that I've already created, there is not much space. So to do that, I delegate more so that my team can take over a lot of things. And I'm so grateful for the people that I work with every day. Now we are 15 in my team, Live from the Heart. And then it's also a conscious choice to make the space from my hand, that okay, I have that much time, I'm going to allocate time to actually dive deeper into the things that are truly important to me, so that I can renew myself, so I can feel inspired. And because I'm inspired, then I'm inspiring, so this is what's happening also for me. The book is from Ben Hardy and Dan Sullivan, and they also wrote other books that I've started, and this is pretty exciting. Okay, I'm going to answer a few questions and try to keep this episode short. How so some of the questions are in French, so I'm going to translate them. How to keep being intentional on a daily basis? Well, I would recommend you to do Refocus Your Life, the program that I've done with Christian, because it really helps. It has to do with grounding yourself and not being so distracted, so that you feel what are your priorities every single day. And then it's important to have a vision for your future, and you can create an anchor. I like to have an image of me, future me, and the way connect with the way I feel and the way I look and just my posture in the world and the choices that I make. And when I connect to this person that I know I can be because I already feel her, so she's already living inside of me, it helps me to keep being intentional and to prioritize on a daily basis the tasks that are going to take me there. And yeah, there's so much more in Refocus Your Life. I recommend you to go check it out. Did I manage to get into Manifestation Babes one on one? I did not. And they never replied. I was so disappointed. So it was in December, I think. I sent I think I sent a newsletter. I was so excited about it, and I probably did a podcast episode. So I heard that Manifestation Babe was opening for the first time in years one-on-one coaching, and there was an application process, and so I answered. And when I answered her form, I was so inspired about what I could create. And just the fact that I applied for a container one-on-one coaching, although I already had coaches, like I had 3 coaches at the time that I actually posted. This is just insane. But I was ready to take another coach. This is it. I'm quite an addict, but it's working. Obviously, look at the life that I have right now. All those coaches, I'm so grateful for them because they help me understand and see my blind spots and help me be the great person that I know I can be. But sometimes I just lose myself and think my doubts are real, and they're not. So I never got an answer from Manifestation Babe. I did send an email. I said, okay, I'm still willing to do it later in the year. Do I have to reapply? And they said, no, it will still take into consideration your application. So maybe you'll be contacted later. So it's not lost. Who knows what's going to happen in the future? Let's see. Okay. How to learn to discern what's acceptable for yourself, and really attune to yourself inside to know what are your preferences and what belongs to others. Wow, that's not an easy question. And this is so interesting how this question is resonating with what I'm currently experiencing with my boyfriend. um, I think it's important to understand what are our values at core, because we can have many, but there are a few values which are going to be more important than others, and what is kind of non-negotiable, and what is more flexible, what is more fluid, and what can be modified by interacting with others. There's like the core, and then there is what's around it. I would say this is it. And how to learn how to discern that, I think it has to do with inner peace, inner quietness, so that you can listen. And also, if you wouldn't be afraid of not being loved, of losing the connection with the people, of speaking your truth, if you wouldn't be afraid to be rejected, what would be your preference? And this is a very good question. Um, Time management for multi-passionate people. Do you have advices for potential people? I don't know where to start. I have too many passions, too many jobs. Okay, well, I can relate to that because there are many things that I want to do. And I believe everybody is multi-potential. Not everybody will express everything, but I believe we're all multi-potentials. I think it's easier. I can see for the English speaking world, a lot of people, very successful people, you can see they're writers, singers, somehow they become senators or they work in politics, and then they do other things, they do business, and they have multi potential skills, and everybody finds it okay. But when you come from France, for example, well, if you've done something, people expect you to keep doing that thing, and then they're doubting your skills if you do something else. But actually everybody has so many skills, so let's just acknowledge that for the minute. And this is just so important to honor all of the skills that we have. Time management for multi-passionate people. I believe you can do many things, but you can do all You cannot do all the mini tasks of the many things that you want to do. For example, I write books, I run a company, I also have other projects. But for example, I can write books, but I cannot do all the back end. Like, for example, for the self publishing that we're currently doing, there's a lot of editing back and forth with the editors. There is a lot of formatting and finding someone for the book cover, finding someone for the audiobook, and sending the files, and just the communication. There are so many little things to organize in the back end for publishing a book. If I would be doing all of that, I wouldn't be able to run my company. It's math. And go to the beach and have a husband and play with my kitties and take care of my health and everything and have a balanced life. It wouldn't be possible. So just realize that whatever projects you're going to choose to invest your time in, you might need to seek support. And the more support you will get, the more projects you will be able to take on. And you can do a lot, really. Like, I can see it on a daily basis. I'm just here answering the people, and the people reach out to the right people, and then the job is done. And we achieve so much in a week with my team. It's just amazing. And I don't even have to be so present for it. But I took the time to know them well, and they know them well. They know me well. They know how I like things to be done and what's really important. And sometimes we make mistakes, and then we learn from them. But what I love about the people that I work with is that even if sometimes it's challenging and they don't have the answer, they always say, I'm going to find a way. I don't know how, but I'm going to find a way. And that's the kind of people you need to have around you. And then you can focus on being the creator that you are. And a great creator is always surrounded by great people who help them, yeah, be in their zone of genius. Um, okay, someone asks about my animals. What happened with my animals? And also at the beginning we had one dog called Sage, and now we don't have Sage anymore. So what happened? So what happened is that we had the vision with Christian that from the moment that we would have a long-term home, we would have animals. And we didn't have a long-term home for a long time because when we met, we were kind of traveling. I was a digital nomad. And then there was COVID. And then I was always telling him, I want to live, like, get out of here, get out of Germany, because Nazi Germany during COVID was terrible for me. And then we went to Costa Rica, and we thought maybe Costa Rica would be home, like long-term home, but it was not. It didn't feel like this. So we decided to move and to come back to Bali, which is where we met 5 years ago, 6 years ago now. And I need to update the numbers in my head. And then we started by Ubud, and then Christian really wanted to live by the beach, and I also love the beach, and we negotiated, and then we ended up here. And when we rented this house for a year, we said, okay, now this is time. This is when we take the animals. So we decided to wait a little bit, that Christian would go to his parents for 3 4 months because he didn't want to take the animals and then leave right away and leave me with them just like this. And so he went to his family, and I got some time with my boyfriend here at home. Just a beautiful, beautiful surprise for me that I got to experience. And then when he came back right away, we went to the dog shelter and we chose a dog, Sage. Meanwhile, there was another dog which was visiting us at home more and more. Her name is Sweetie, and she really fell in love with us, and we fell in love with her. And she was coming every day just to be fed and to be pet. And she's such a peaceful dog and noble dog. I love the way she sits. She's just like this princess queen kind of energy. She's probably about 6 years old. She's very peaceful and quiet. She just sleeps and she runs in the street by herself. She's wild and she's fierce, but she's also very much like a lady. I can totally relate to Sweetie. And so Sweetie started to visit us more and more, but still we wanted to get a puppy and get the experience of helping a puppy grow and everything. And at the same time that we got the puppy from the shelter, for a trying period of 2 weeks, we got Ginger, which was a baby cat when we got her. So it was in December. And with Ginger, it was easy, except that she was not getting along with the dogs. She was very much afraid of the dogs, which is not surprising. I mean, she's a cat. And then Sweetie, it was pretty easy with her. She was coming more and more, and she didn't want to miss out of the relationship of the with the other animals. So it was very interesting. That's exactly the point where she started to come more and more, and even spend the nights at home and everything. And with Sage, the dog that we initially took from the shelter, it was super challenging. She was a baby like 4 months, I think, and she was always agitated, always barking a lot when we had visitors, like even the cleaners, even the gardener, and she was attacking them really. And she was barking at night, she was peeing, pooping at night. Oh, that was tough. And especially for Christian, because he had to take care of her more, because he's more of the dog person among us, and taking her several times a day outside for a little bit, not too long, because she was a puppy and everything. And it was very much a disturbance of our peace. And we have a very peaceful life. It's very quiet at home. It's just the two of us. We don't play loud music. We don't argue. It's such a peaceful place to live. And she was a big disruptor. And at first, for me, it was sure that we were going to take her for life. Like, I didn't expect to bring her back. And then we had a session with someone who was doing animal communication to talk with her. We did the same for Sweetie, and we did the same for Ginger. And this person that we worked with, and actually I'm ordering him a few more sessions this week, 3 months later, so that we tell the animals that we're going to go on a vacation, and also we want to know how it's going with the new cat. So I'm going to talk about that in a minute. And he told us that the dog that we had, she had troubles in her stages of development, and it might be challenging to keep her on the long run, especially without a garden. And we don't have a garden, we just have a pool. And yeah, that was tough. But also, she was very much afraid at night, because she grew up in the shelter where she had many other animals around her, and she was alone at night. There was no other noises from animals, and although we were there not far, it was not the same. And she was freaking out, because that was not her natural environment with other dogs and stuff. So now she's back to the shelter. She's a happy puppy, playing every day with her friends. And yeah, I guess that's what make her feel safe. And that's okay. That's okay. It was we didn't take it as a failure. We took it as an experiment, and that's why they have 2 weeks for us to try. And here we are. Anyway, we have a dog anyway, because Sweetie chose us, and now she's ours. So then something else happened. Christian fell in love with the kitten, and that was unexpected, because he's very much of a dog person, as I said. But from the moment Ginger arrived, it was like, oh my God, the kitten. So cute to see him fall in love with the kitten. And from the beginning, he said, if you want more, we'll get more. And he was very much into it. And then his friend that he works with, Sasha, who is here living with his family for a few months, found a kitten on the beach. And they called us and they said, okay, we're only staying for a few weeks. Do you want it? And we said yes. So this is how Pepper entered the family about a little bit less than 2 weeks ago. And Pepper is really like a tiny, tiny thing. She can hold in my hand, just one hand. And she was found alone. She was very tiny and nourished, but she went to the vet, and he said she's healthy. And we're just feeding her, giving her lots of love. And she really loves to snuggle, because she's kind of cold, because she doesn't have much fat and much hair. And she loves to be very close to our skin and cuddle in the neck. And it's just wonderful. It's just so wonderful to be with them. And I love them so much. And I can't believe I waited so many years to have animals, because I didn't have this settled, quiet life in one place. And everything is okay. I'm also happy with my years of digital nomad, but this is so cool to have now what we have. Voilà. What else? Um, Oh my God, so many other questions. I'm going to select a few because it's just too much. How do I cope with the noise at night in Bali? It's been 5 weeks that I'm in Bali, and I have difficulties to rest at night. We are exhausted. Well, there is a timing, because everything kind of settled down after 6 p.m., 6, 7, 8 p.m. Usually we go to bed at 9, because Christian is super tired at 8. I'm always negotiating, like, oh no, a little bit later, kind of. And then we wake up super early, usually between 5 and 6, and Christian gets up and I stay in bed and I cuddle with the kitties. And yeah, just sometimes I fall asleep again, sometimes I play with them, sometimes I scroll on my phone. That's kind of the cycle here in Bali. And then if you live in a very, very loud area, you might have noise at night, which might be a problem because in the morning, anyway, nature will wake you up around 5 a.m. The birds, the roosters, the dogs, it's going to be busy out there, the motorbikes. And although we live in a quiet area, I can still feel that it's been awakened after 6 a.m. So it's just choices of a different rhythm. That's it. And you can take naps. Okay, another question. Am I planning to do other retreats this year? So there is a retreat about abundance that is planned in May for 7 people. I have not planned to do a second one this year because I want to do one and then let's see how it goes. And if it goes really well and I love it, and maybe I'll do a second one sometimes when I'm ready. So there is no promise about that. From for now, it's a one-time thing. And then there is going to be another retreat late July. I'm going to record an episode about that. And this one will be a writer's retreat. And this one will be with accommodation in the beautiful high-end resort. Sorry, it's gonna be amazing. I'm super excited about it for people who have a project that they want to birth, a writing project, and I want to support you both on the creative side, but also on the publishing side. And it's going to be super exciting. So that's it. That's the two retreats that are planned, and that's it for now because I want to give birth to new online programs and new books and different things. Um, okay, other questions. If you worked on your traumas and they trigger you again, how do you react and deal with that? Well, I take a deep breath and I acknowledge that I'm human and that it's okay to feel how I feel. And then I try to not attach what I feel to new stories and just try to let it dissolve and just come back to a place of neutrality inside of me where I can see things clearly. And also, today it's pretty clear to me that life is never against me. It always has my back and my best interest. And sometimes I just don't have the manual to read what's happening with me. And I must acknowledge that life knows better quite often. And sometimes rejection is redirection. And sometimes when something is not working for me, it's protection from life. And that's fine. And I may get frustrated. And what would I do? Then I'll talk with some friends, which are also coaches and have my best interest at heart. I can journal. I can just put on the paper everything I feel and all my fears, and then I'm gonna burn them and say, or out loud an affirmation. Now I welcome something else. I'm open to reconnect with the energy of source and let it inspire me. And I know that there is always another way. Things like that, and just allow myself to be renewed by new, fresh energies. And I also have um, rituals. Like at night, I go to bed and I write on a post it in my bed. And I say, please help me find solutions about that in the night. Then I put it under my pillow or I ask for something very specific. And I don't need to remember what flew through me during the night. I don't even need to remember if it was a dream or if it was an inspiration of some sort because I don't know, an angel visited me or whatever. I just wake up in the morning and I have a fresh vision about the situation, and suddenly I have an idea that I didn't have the day before. I don't care where it comes from. It's fine. I just take it and I just implement it and see how it works for me. I believe that this is my conscious choice to reconnect to source inspiration, and that because I nourish this relationship, then I get more and more inspired when I ask. So I think this is a very, very valuable tip to share with you. And then what else do I want to share? Maybe just a few more questions. How to protect yourself from black magic. I'm not really much into protection, not much. I'm more into reinforcing your own energy. It's all about being full of yourself, in the sense of, because you're completely embodying your original vibration, you're full of your own essence, then it's harder to find its way inside of you. So I would say grounding, a lot of grounding, a lot of self knowledge, what's right for you, what's not right for you, honoring your values, having a vision, really being like having strong, energetic inner knowing of what's right for you and respecting it, and then having strong boundaries with others around you. Not everyone has to have access to your energy. You can have a close circle, and then, you know, more and more around you, like further away, and respect your time, respect your physical boundaries, respect your emotional boundaries, things like that. And then, yeah, it's harder to get you. I would say that's my answer. Just reinforce what you have instead of being afraid that something from outside will come and impact you. You have influence on so many things already. And then maybe a last question: do I have account to share, podcast to recommend about what's happening in the world? I don't really follow what's happening in the world. I have a lot in the past, especially during COVID time. I was very much banging on pots and pans. I tried to wake people up for like a year and a half. It drained me. I was exhausted, but at the same time, I'm super grateful because it gave me time to go down a rabbit hole and really figure out what was the truth for me, according to what was happening in the world with COVID, but also so many other things like child trafficking and many other things. Um, if you follow me, sometimes I share some stuff. Like I've shared a video from Elizabeth April last week, I think. I really like Elizabeth April. She's a great psychic. You can find her videos on YouTube. She also has a website with uncensored videos, because obviously the best videos you cannot find on YouTube. You can imagine, and on Instagram and everything. And I've been following her since COVID, so it's been already 4 years. And I feel that she's very much on point with what's happening with aliens and also the wars in the world. And yeah, so many things, COVID and the woke culture and many things like this. So maybe this is a good starting point. And then, yeah, just follow it, because when you find someone, then you'll find someone else, and then you'll find someone else. And it's just, yeah, keep going. I had a big document in 2020 that I was sharing a lot. Actually, recently, two people asked me about it, so I sent to them. It's really not up to date, but if you go on my Telegram channel, you can find my Telegram channel at the bottom of my link tree, and in this channel, you can find a pinned document on my channel where there is all my sources, everything I liked to follow years ago. It's not up to date. Some people have changed their own channels, but you can find a lot of resources. I also like to follow the memes from David Avocado Wolf. Always good stuff. I like to follow Fabrice Maravigna, my friend, which I'm going to interview again this week. Yeah, just find the people that resonate with you. Keep what's right for you, leave what's not right for you, and just have discernment and find what feels like truth, like medicine, and just, yeah, own it and share it with the world, because we need that. I believe speaking my truth on social media has helped me find the right people. And once in a while, I just bring that back in the stories. I can see that some people unfollow me and just like, bye bye, okay, thank you, bye. It's not going to work together because you're speaking wrongly about vaccinations or different choices from the politics and taxes and many things. Well, I don't care. I am who I am, and I believe in what I believe, and I stand for my truth. And if you don't like it, there are so many other coaches that you can follow. Please do. You will give me a favor, and you will find people that resonate better with you. That's it. So my recommendation is my Telegram and Elizabeth April. That's it for now. It's pretty long. It's a long episode. I was expecting shorter, but thank you for your questions. And I will see you in another episode next week. Have a great day. Bye bye.